Marcus Aurelius's secret Stoic practices. Ever wonder what went on in the mind of the man who ruled the world and still managed to write one of history's most profound self-help books? We all know the standard Stoic virtues: control what you can, accept what you can't, live in accordance with nature. But beyond the well-trodden paths of the Meditations, there were subtle, deeply personal, and perhaps even secret practices that allowed Marcus Aurelius to maintain his serenity amidst the chaos of empire, plague, and war. These aren't just philosophical concepts, they're actionable, almost mystical techniques for anchoring the soul. One of the most powerful, yet often overlooked, practices Marcus employed was what we might call the cognitive rehearsal of the worst-case scenario, but with a Stoic twist. It's more than just negative visualization. Before a particularly difficult day, a perilous military campaign, or a crucial senatorial address, he wouldn't just imagine the failure. He would actively pre-feel the Stoic response to that failure. For instance, he wouldn't simply picture losing a battle. He would picture it, then immediately shift his focus. The outcome is external. The loss is pain, yes, but the shame or the despair are choices of judgment. I can choose to view the loss as merely an event, a piece of nature's unfolding, and then immediately focus my mind on the duty that remains: rebuilding, reorganizing, continuing to serve the common good, regardless of personal setback. This active, two-step process, feeling the external sting, then instantly applying the internal salve of duty and reason, was his spiritual armor. It made the sting feel familiar, almost mundane, when it eventually arrived. Another truly fascinating and intimate practice was his daily deep dive into cosmological perspective and the brevity of life's stage. Most people quote him on how short life is, but Marcus didn't just think about it, he used it as a deliberate architectural tool for decision-making. Imagine him late at night, in a cold tent on the Danube frontier. He would systematically map out his current concern against the backdrop of geological and historical time. He'd contemplate the sheer sky, the countless stars, the vastness of the cosmos, and then juxtapose that with his immediate petty frustration, like a subordinate's incompetence or a senator's treachery. The secret here is the physicality of the contrast. He was trained to shrink his ego by mentally expanding his surroundings until his own life and the lives of those he dealt with felt like a single, almost imperceptible breath in an infinite expanse. This wasn't meant to breed nihilism. It was designed to create an urgent, vibrant sense of duty. If your life is just a moment, he reasoned, then the only rational action is to spend that moment acting with justice and benevolence, because the time for pettiness is laughably short. Perhaps the most secret, because it requires the most diligent mental work, was his sophisticated application of the transformation of the obstacle via semantic alchemy. Whenever a person or situation presented an obstacle, an angry mob, a lying advisor, a sudden illness, Marcus didn't just accept it. He immediately redefined the essence of the event until it became an opportunity for a specific virtue he needed to practice. This isn't just seeing the silver lining, it's mentally converting the lead of misfortune into the gold of virtue. A political betrayal? It's not a hindrance to my rule, it's a test of my patience and my capacity for non-retaliation, justice. A sudden fever? It's not a delay to my plans, it's a mandate to practice endurance and maintain tranquility in the face of physical discomfort, temperance. A complicated, frustrating negotiation? It's not a waste of time, it's a stage for the exercise of clarity and persuasive truth. Wisdom. The obstacle was never the issue. It was always, instantaneously, the raw material for the next spiritual workout. This practice meant his mind was never stalled by negativity. It was perpetually translating pain into purpose. Finally, there was his deliberate and systematic cultivation of the practice of seeing things as they truly are, stripping away the layers of emotional and cultural judgment we place on things. When he saw a beautiful piece of roast meat, he'd mentally see the carcass of a dead pig. When he saw a sumptuous purple robe, he'd mentally see sheep's hair dyed with the blood of a shellfish. This wasn't cynicism. It was intellectual honesty designed to break the chain of consumerist desire and the illusion of prestige. By reducing things to their core material components, he denied them the power to control his emotions or drive his ambition. This grounded, unsentimental observation was a constant, gentle psychological fast against the excesses of his position, allowing the emperor to remain just Marcus, a man of simple needs and profound clarity. These weren't public pronouncements. They were the silent, internal mechanisms that kept the philosopher king functioning. They are the engine behind the stoicism we admire, the radical acceptance of reality, not as a resignation, but as the only solid ground upon which to build a life of purpose and virtue. They teach us that true power is not over others, but over the interpretation of our own existence. If this deep dive into the emperor's mental toolkit resonated with you, imagine the transformative insights waiting to be uncovered in future explorations. Take a moment now to smash that like button. It helps this wisdom reach more seekers. And please drop a comment below with which ancient practice you find most challenging to adopt in modern life, or share your own favorite secret. Finally, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next journey into the profound corners of history and philosophy.